Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. Today we have the 2021 Detroit Lions team preview. If you like the video this morning, please come in and share. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. So if you like the video, please come in and share it as I break down the Motor City, the 2021 Detroit Lions. Man, when you think about the Detroit Lions, first of all, I think about history before I get into their 2021 team preview. And the thing I think about the Detroit Lions, I think about the 60s. And I think about Motown. And I associate Motown with the Detroit Lions for some reason. The Supremes, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the Four Tops, the Temptations. Then that 67 team. And you want to know why? Because I had an uncle that lived in Detroit. His name was Opie Turner. He probably going to be watching today from my hometown of 901. And he was very good friends with Lynn Barney, Charlie Sanders, Mel Renfro, Paul Newmouth, Dick LeBeau. Every time I think about the Detroit Lions, I think about that 67 team, them teams in the late 60s and 70s. They were hard-nosed football team. And when you played in Detroit, man, you know you was going against a team that put that blue and black on you. Then they had the great Alex Karras. Let me throw him there, the defensive tackle. Then think about all the players that played in Detroit over the years. That kind of epitomizes that attitude. Boomer Sooner Billy Sanders ran with tenacity when he was there. Barry Sanders, we don't have to say no more about him. Detroit finest. So when I look at the 2021 Detroit Lions, I look at it a team that's in transition, but going to be back at that status. The last 3 years, they've been a last place team. We all know what happened with Matt Patricia. Bob Quinn, the GM, it just didn't work out. And a lot of people laugh when they hired Dan Campbell as the head coach. But one thing I like about Coach Campbell, he came in with excitement. He came in with energy. And I remember several sports outlets said he was crazy out of his man when he said, hey, we're going to have a football team that we're going to bite the kneecaps off. Well, see, you know why Coach Campbell said that? Because if you haven't played that game, and some of these people that was talking about him, football is a game of passion, skill, determination. Is about heart. And what I like about Coach Campbell, I see heart in him. He played the game. He is a Texan from Clifton, Texas. He played at Texas A&M, the 12th man. And from what I heard down in New Orleans, they loved him as a player's coach. Another thing I liked about him, the two coordinators that he hired. People don't get it twisted about Anthony Lynn. His situation out there with the Chargers. He's a good football coach, the new OC. And I like the hiring of Aaron Glenn as a DC. Remember, he was a secondary coach with New Orleans, and he developed one man out of the Ohio State, Marshawn Lattimore. I like where the Lions are going. Let me start with the offensive side of the ball. Matthew Stafford, you had a great career in Detroit, 12 years. I understand you want to get out of there. You had a big-time receiver in Calvin Johnson. But Matthew Stafford, great players, and this is no knock against Mr. Stafford. Great players, they overachieve, and they take lesser, and they still get to the promised land. Matthew Stafford, you never got your team to the promised land. So I understand you put up yards, you put up touchdowns, but hey, you didn't get your team to the promised land. You got traded for a quarterback in Jared Goff, who did. Even though the last 2 years, 42 touchdowns, 29 INTs, I know the relationship between him and Sean McVay kind of deteriorated. A lot of people frowned on him. But don't really take this key point. He got the Rams to the Super Bowl and wasn't even playing in the offense that he played at Cal. See, the Rams ran a lot of play action. If Todd Gurley wasn't running the ball so successfully and wasn't doing his thing, Jared Goff wasn't going to do his thing because he wasn't that type of quarterback to play in that system. But you know what Anthony Lynn is doing right now? He's restructuring the offense with Jared Goff played in the West Coast out there at Cal. He played on the center. He's going to be able to come up to the line of scrimmage. Jared Goff going to be a player in Detroit. Now let's go to the running back position. They got a special one out of Georgia. He gave y'all a little sample size last year. 10 touchdowns. Out of Philadelphia, DeAndre Swift. Grade report, dynamic runner, A+. Receiving threat, A+. Versatile, A+. DeAndre Swift going to be able to do his thing. And you know what? We're going to be talking about him at another level this year. Let's talk about the receiver position. Of course, the Lions let Kenny Golladay walk. Of course, Marvin Jones Jr. is not there anymore. Danny Allen left. That's all right, though. Nobody's heard of the receiving core that's coming in. Tyrell Williams is a player. He had some pretty good years in San Diego. He had over 1,000-yard season in 2016. He big and fast. Only reason that a lot of people question him because he was out last year with an injury, shoulder injury with the Raiders, Las Vegas. Bashard Perriman can take the tap off the defense. Remember that. He's averaged almost 19 yards in his career. Of course, a lot of people haven't heard of him. But a young man, you better watch out for him. He fell in the draft. And I said when the Lions got him, they must have a very good scouting department. All you got to do is ask Mr. Keyshawn Johnson, who played at the mighty USC Trojans, about this young man. Amon Rand St. Brown. 6'2", about 215. Is a player. Over 2,000 yards receiving his USC career. 12 touchdowns. I expect him, he's going to be one of the most inherited rookies to come on the scene. But this is what I think Detroit is going to surprise some people. And why I love Dan Campbell. And kudos to the GM, Brad Holmes. It's like Bobby Butler says, every week when me and him get together, our NFL guy here on 100 Yards Football that played 12 years in the league. Listen to what Mr. Butler says all the time. You can get all the toys you want to. And they can look shiny. But for you to be an excellent football team, you got to build in a line of scrimmage. And if your offense and D-lines are good, man, you got a chance to do something special in the National Football League. That's been over the course of the history of this game. I like the Lions' offensive line. I think it's going to be one of the best in the game. Taylor Deckard is that guy. Frank Rango, Pig Sooie, University of Arkansas, 5th round draft choice, is the best center in the game. And they drafted. I'm not going to call his first name. I'm going to call him Mr. Sewell out of the University of Oregon. Only 20 years old. To me, he's the next Anthony Munoz. To me, a lot of people were saying he might have been the best player in the draft. Didn't give him a sack at the University of Oregon in his 2 years playing now. He is a special, special football player. One thing about the Detroit Lions, they are going to be pretty good in the offensive line. And if they get Jared Goff some time, he's going to make it happen because he's got one of the best tight ends in the game. Mr. Harrison. Yes, sir. T.J. Harrison is going to be that guy out of the University of Iowa. You think he was good under Matthew Stafford. He's going to be fantastic under Jared Goff. And that offensive line is going to be one of the top 5 offensive lines in the game this year. Now I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball. The Lions gave up the most points last year, 519 yards. They gave up the most total yards in NFL history, over 6,700. But you know what I like what Mr. Campbell did? And the GM, Brad Holmes, they drafted in the D-line. First of all, they went and got Michael Brockers with the Rams. Pretty good football player, very stable. Unsung because he was playing beside Aaron Donald. I like that move. Then he went out. I'm not going to call him by his first name, Mr. McNeil, out of North Carolina State. Very intelligent football player. Oh, my God. 10 sacks, 78 tackles. Look at his film in North Carolina State. And he's a very well-spoken young man. And he's coming out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And then they drafted a young man out of Washington, Mr. Levi O. I'm not going to kind of struggle with his last name, but I'm going to call him Levi O. Everybody know who I'm talking about in the Lions Nations, out of the University of Washington. Had over 100 tackles. He is a baller. I call him Warrior. Come out to play. Trey Flowers, Pig Sooie, has not really earned his money in his years there with the Lions. It's a free agent, but I guarantee you he's going to come back strong this year. Romeo O. Had 10 sacks last year for the Lions. You got to think he's looking at his D-line now. And the Lions' defensive line is going to be special. Going back down to the linebackers position. Of course, the Lions struggle there, but I'm going to tell you, they got a player out of Purdue, Mr. Derek Barnes. Almost 300 tackles at that engineering school, 60 miles from Chicago and West Lafayette. He's another Vincent Turner who played with the San Francisco 49ers. Mr. Derek Barnes is very underrated, excuse me. And then you got the secondary. Of course, they struggle. No question about it. Jeff Okudah ended the season on an injury. Was really lost in the scheme. Tracy Walker is a very good football player. But I think with the hiring of Aaron Glenn, that secondary is going to be better. And Jeff Okudah is going to be a guy that's going to take his game to another level, as I predicted him when he was a top 3 pick in the 2020 NFL draft. I like this Detroit Lions team, and I think Lion Nation should be excited because you got a coach that's bringing that excitement to Detroit. And you got to look at it. This is going to be a young football team, and I think they're going to improve their win total. It seems to me that the Lions organization know what they're doing, and they built it on the line of scrimmage. And Jared Goff, remember this, Lion fans. He's a guy that's played in this league since 2016. He's a guy that has led his team to a Super Bowl. It's a lot of quarterbacks in this league cannot say that at this time in his career. Can I say Matthew Stafford that played 12 years? And I like DeAndre Swift. I like T.J. Hawkinson. I like Mr. McNeil. I like Mr. Sue. This is a Lions team that's looking back in the 60s. Len Barney, Alex Karras, Mel Farr, Billy Sims. Lions Nation, you might be able to stand up and be proud. So, my final words to Detroit Lions Nation. You know I love Motown. As a guy by the name of Smokey Robinson. He was the lead singer with the Miracles. And when I think about this Lions football team, I think about Dan Campbell when he said biting off them kneecaps. Well, Smokey Robinson had a song that went like this. Well, there's a brand new place I found where people go for miles around. I'm going to the go-go, everybody. I'm going to the go-go, everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes going to take the Lions to the go-go in the next few years in the Motor City in Detroit. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. The Detroit Lions are going to be an improved football team for 2021. I'd like to say thank you. And please come in and share. And to my producer this morning, Mr. Logan Landers, thank you. And enjoy the rest of the week. 100 yards of football. Going to the go-go with Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions.